you guys at the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget have made some estimates about the magnitude of the budget savings that would be required over 10 years to accomplish those goals. What have you found?
Yeah, Bob. So we've analyzed this, and when you try to put in perspective how much savings is going to be necessary to meet various budgetary targets over 10 years, easy way to look at this, you can look at it in two ways. One is there's often as you know, that one of the things people put out often is we should balance the budget, right? Let's balance the budget. Well, we estimate that given our fiscal situation, to balance the budget in 10 years, right? So by 2033, would require about $12.7 trillion in savings to do that over 10 years. Okay. Now, what if we just tried to we're about almost at about 100% of GDP, right? As a debt to GDP. So you could look at what about meeting a certain debt to GDP target. So if we just try to keep it around 100%, right? You're still going to require about $6 trillion in savings to do that. Now, to put that in perspective, this year we enacted one of the biggest deficit reduction bills that Congress has done in several years, Fiscal Responsibility Act. And that was quite a challenge, right? Working through the political dynamics to get that bill passed, and they're still working through it now. Well, that was, if you want to be on the optimistic side, maybe 1.3 trillion in savings, right? To 10 years, right? And so these are big numbers, right? These are big numbers, and it puts in perspective, this is a big challenge. Now, the other thing to keep in mind on this is when you put these numbers in perspective, what often happens is, politicians, certainly people that are running for office, may make broad statements about what they're going to do to solve this without really being honest about the feasibility of these things. So, for example, right, we've run numbers on this, and given what I said about how much it would cost to balance, or how much it would take to balance the budget, if you were going to balance the budget by cutting spending, right, which often people say, I'm going to balance the budget, I'm going to cut spending. Well, what that would require to meet that target, you'd have to cut spending by over 25%, so 26% across the board spending. When has that ever happened? Okay. Now, which is often the case, someone may say, I'm going to cut spending, but we're not touching Social Security. We're not touching Medicare. Oh, we're not touching veterans. Oh, we're not touching defense. Okay. I'm going to cut spending. I'm going to balance the budget. That would require a 76% across the board cut to do that. Okay.
So I just think that that's worth repeating, because you get this all the time is if you're going to try to balance the budget and do it nothing but spending cuts, and you're going to exempt Social Security, defense, Medicare, and veterans, you all you need to do is cut the rest of the budget by about 76, eliminate about 76% of the rest of the budget.
Now let's try the taxes side, Bob, right?
Okay.
Right? On the taxes side, what often might be the case, we're going to raise taxes, right? Like this is on one side, they'll maybe raise taxes. Obviously not as popular as the cutting spending approach, but if you wanted to raise taxes across the board to balance the budget, right, to meet that target over 10 years, you have to raise taxes across the board by 31%. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good luck that happening. But
that's a great campaign slogan.
Maybe we could just raise taxes on those above, say, $400,000, because that's what may often be put forward. And you can cover this with the wealthy, but that's not going to work either. You'd have to increase taxes we estimate, by 74%. Okay, on those people, that's to balance the budget. That's not going to happen either. So we know what the answer is here. You need to put a lot of things on the table. You can't take anything off the table. It's going to have to be some combination of spending reductions and revenue increases if you're really going to be honest about solving this problem. And that's what people need to be looking for when they're trying to hold to account the types of things that elected officials and certainly candidates are saying.